First look at your Wednesday morning headlines. The votes are in. Nova Scotia elects a progressive, conservative majority government. We break down the results for you throughout the morning.
Yes, this clearly was a statement victory by Tim Houston and the Progressive Conservatives. After entering the race as the clear underdog, they ended up winning this majority government, and by quite a large margin. So how did they get to this point? Here's a breakdown of the current seat total. 31 ridings were won by the PCs compared to 17 from the Liberals and 6 from the NDP. So let's start by looking at where the PCs made significant inroads. Some of the biggest surprises were in ridings like Antigonish and Guysborough-Tracadie, where Cabinet Ministers Randy DeLaury and Lloyd Hines lost their seats. We also clearly saw several ridings flip to blue. Those ridings include Digby-Annapolis. That's part of where Stephen McNeil's old riding was, as well as in both of the Lunenburg ridings, Kings West and Hants West. Those were previously represented by Cabinet Ministers Chuck Porter and Leo Levine. We also saw the PCs overtake Waverly Fall River, Beaverbank, Chester St. Margaret's, and Colchester North. Now, we also should mention there was some significant wins from the NDP here in the Halifax area. They took back the ridings of Halifax Needham, Halifax Chebucto, Dartmouth South, and Dartmouth North. But the focus of the night was on that man, Tim Houston, who after winning this election, he called it a referendum on health care in the province. Have a listen.
You are ready for the vision put forward by the PC party. Whether you don't have a family doctor, whether you want access to mental health, whether you have a loved one waiting for a bed in long-term care, whether you want a better paying job or your business to grow, you share the hope that I have, that our whole PC team has, for a beautiful province where everyone can reach its full potential.
Now, it is worth noting here that vote counting in 6 electoral districts that was happening last night has been put on pause. Those include in Argyll, Cumberland North, Dartmouth South, Halifax Atlantic, Halifax Chebucto, as well as Halifax Citadel Sable Island. The one that we're watching is that last one, though. Labby Kasulis, the cabinet minister with the Liberals, currently losing to the NDP by about 400 votes. So there's going to be a bit of a race happening there. That vote counting is expected to continue today starting at 10 a.m. If you want to see all of these election results that happened last night, we have it all covered online. That's globalnews.ca/Halifax. Back to you.
All right, good stuff, Graham. Stay there. We'll get back to you throughout the show on recap of decision. Nova Scotia. Graham Benjamin live for us this morning. Now, despite losing the election, Iain Rankin kept his seat in Timberlea Prospect last night in a subdued speech from his party's headquarters. He said he respected the results and will continue to lead the province's Liberal Party.
I will continue to lead this party. I will continue to do whatever I can do to fight for every single Nova Scotian to make sure that we have a voice, that every single Nova Scotian, no matter where you come from or your income level, no matter where you live, no matter your race, no matter what you believe in, your faith, your sexual orientation, you have a role in making sure that you have a voice and how we recover from this pandemic. We are leaders in this pandemic. We will be leaders in the recovery no matter who's in government.
Meanwhile, NDP leader Gary Burrill also kept his seat. During his speech, Burrill said it was an election full of surprises, and he applauded his team effort and focus on issues that matter.
Hope is believing in spite of the evidence and then watching the evidence change. So in the course of this campaign, we have watched a lot of evidence change. And we are going to, in the future, watch a lot more evidence change and make a lot more evidence change as together we continue to build towards something better. Thank you very much.
Another big story from last night, independent candidate Elizabeth Smith-McCrossan has won her seat despite being ousted from the Progressive Conservative caucus earlier this summer. Smith-McCrossan won by a significant margin over Liberal candidate and longtime politician Bill Casey. She says she will work with whoever forms the next government, which will now be her former boss, Premier-designate Tim Houston. Can you imagine being in on that first meeting? Smith-McCrossan was booted from the caucus in June after promoting that blockade that disrupted traffic on both sides of the Nova Scotia-New Brunswick border.
And history was made in the riding of Preston with a win by the first Black candidate. Liberal Angela Simons beat out PC candidate Archie Beals and NDP candidate Coulter Simons. With the win, she also becomes the first Black Nova Scotian woman elected to the Nova Scotia Liberal Party. The race was the first time in the province's history an electoral district had all Black candidates running. Simon says her win will mean a lot for the community.
To be honest, a bit of mixed emotions. I think because it's protected riding, it also torn a lot of different emotions for folks. And so what I really think that's important that we do now is build some unity. That a protected riding, because 3 Black people are running, doesn't mean we have to divide, but we actually need to now start thinking about collectively what we need to do instead of bridging us apart.
Angela Simmons there, excuse me. Preston was one of 4 protected ridings added this year to increase representation for Acadian and Black Nova Scotians.
And of course, in the back of our minds is that the federal election is a month away, and last night's win by PC leader Tim Houston had federal Conservative leader Aaron O'Toole cheering from where he was watching. In a tweet, he said, "A great night in NS. Congratulations to the Nova Scotia Progressive Conservative Party and the next Premier of Nova Scotia, Tim Houston, on an exciting election win." The federal election, by the way, is Monday, September 20th.